last go-around for the seniors, Ricky Dixon, Luis Rodriguez, and Sam Germain. Join alongside Neil Gagnon, I'm Tom Cronin. And Neil, this is your first senior night here at LCAT as a broadcaster. What are your emotions going into this game tonight for East Long Meadow against Westfield?
I think there's a lot of emotions, especially for Westfield, who need this win to still stay in the playoff hunt. But East Long Meadow, this is more emotional. Get this last win for the season at home.
All right, we're going to cut our broadcast pregame because in about a minute, or I should say actually 30 seconds, the PA announcer, Anthony Feminari, will have your calls for the senior night introductions.
Oh, 34?
Now we'd like to recognize 3 East Long Meadow High School seniors. First, junior varsity player, co-captain Sam Germain, joined by his mother Lori and his dad Jody.
All right, the seniors have been announced, the national anthem has been sung, and the lineups have been set. Once again, everybody, join alongside Neil Gagnon. I'm Tom Cronin, broadcasting here on Channel 5 for LCAT's coverage of men's varsity basketball in this 2013-2014 season. Neil, it's the final game of the season. East Long Meadow is out of contention for the playoffs. Westfield has a very cool story, though, on how they can get in. We'll touch on that later in the broadcast. But your final thoughts for your final game this year?
Thoughts is East Long Meadow, a good season, great chance of a run they had. Eventually couldn't do it, but again, this game is really important for East Long Meadow's positive attitude for the end of the game this season.
The starting five for the East Long Meadow Spartans tonight is Luis Rodriguez, Riley Held, Richard Ucalacarana, Nate Lindsay, and Ricky Dixon. And the tip will go East Long Meadow's way, and the senior Luis Rodriguez starts it off with a bang for East Long Meadow. Here's John O'Brien for the Bombers. Looking for someone to pass to, finds his teammate Isaiah Headley, the leader of this Westfield Bombers squad. Headley gives it to his teammate down low, and off the glass and good for Jason Howard. Quickly, the score is 2-2 with 7:30 left here in the first. Here's Ricky Dixon controlling the offense for the Spartans, gives it to the sophomore Riley Held. Held looking for a backdoor pass, gives it for the long range two for Dixon, who knocks it down. Here's Headley. Gives it to the left side to O'Brien. O'Brien gives it back up top. Westfield fakes the deep three. Dunn gives it to the right side. Headley knocks it down. And the score is 5-4. Dixon has it. Gives it to Nate Lindsay. Lindsay around the pick from Richard. And a sloppy pass. Nope, Ricky Dixon saved it. Good save by Ricky. And Luis Rodriguez falls to the ground. And I believe there's going to be a foul on the floor. And Neil, early on, some high intensity on the offensive side for both teams.
Exactly. Well, Isaiah Headley with that big three for Westfield. But again, quick points from Ricky Dixon and Lou Rodriguez to start it for East Long Meadow.
Nate Lindsay is inbounding for the Spartans. The junior gives it to the senior, Luis Rodriguez. Lewis from Jimmer range, no good. O'Brien dishes it to the left side. Here's Headley. Covered by Richard. Gives it to Dunn, swings it to the right side. And Westfield banks the layup. Dixon calling a play around the pick from Richard. Takes it himself, the left-hander, no. Rebounded by the Bombers, and Headley will run the floor. Isaiah Headley gives it up top for the Bombers for three, no good. Here's Rodriguez. Rodriguez driving with a force, and he'll go to the line.
Great push by Luis Rodriguez on the floor. We've seen him do that all season.
And what an excellent senior season it has been for Luis Rodriguez. He has 442 points this year coming into tonight. He reached the 1,000 point milestone, earlier on against Cathedral this season. Overall, a great career here at East Long Meadow for Mr. Rodriguez. Looking to cut it to a 1-point deficit here early on. And he does that. 7-6, Westfield leads with 5:54 left in the first. East Long Meadow going with a defensive press. Coach Ochoa not holding anything back here this last game of the season. Westfield was able to break it, but they can't finish the layup. Here's Rodriguez. Rodriguez doesn't get the layup. Richards there, though, doesn't get the putback. Riley Held fighting hard and gets it to go. Neil, we've seen that a lot this year where Lewis or Ricky may miss a layup, but the bigs down low are there to recover for them.
Right. See Brett, Rich in that conversation.
Some nice passing here. Here's Rodriguez, and he'll go to the line looking for the jam there.
We've seen Luis Rodriguez do that last year. He knows how to dunk. He knows how to finish.
He definitely can get up there. I was watching him during shoot-around today, and he was just practicing dunking and maybe sending his highlight reel to the NBA teams. I'm not sure, but Luis Rodriguez, you know, you wouldn't think because he's not that tall if you stand next to him, but he can get up there. And he knocks down his first one and gives East Long Meadow a 3-point lead. Excuse me, a 2-point lead. Now a 3-point lead. And the Bombers attack down low. The putback no good. And Rodriguez comes up with it. Ricky Dixon gives it to Nate Lindsay. Lindsay long 2, no good. Rebounded by Howard. And it's stolen away by Ricky Dixon. Dixon finds Richard. Richard takes it himself, and they're going to call him for a charge.
I don't think Howard was set.
I didn't see Howard set himself because I had some players in front of me. But by the way Ricky Dixon reacted, he definitely was set because Ricky didn't look too happy with how Richard went in on that play. East Long Meadow staying with the press. Here's the Bombers trying to swing it around here to the left side, covered by Brett Smith. Brown gives it back up top. Now over to O'Brien for 3 and knocks it down. Ties the game up at 10. Four minutes to play, and A.J. Allen will check in for the Spartans in a few moments. Dixon gives it to Brett Smith, and Brett Smith will get fouled and go to the line. Last game for East Long Meadow was at home on the 17th, where they lost by 8, 68-60 against Amherst. Rodriguez had 36 points, and Ricky Dixon had 9 points. And Neil, I want to talk about that Amherst game because Amherst had 4 different players in double figures. Right. That's how well they shared the ball that night.
Right. I wouldn't blame East Long Meadow's defense necessarily because they have so much players. You know, it's hard to double team one guy, but then another guy's open. So it was that kind of game last game. But you know, Westfield's a different team.
And Brett Smith hits the front of the rim on the second one, and they're going to call a foul on Jarek Shoshone. His first foul of the night. East Long Meadow setting up in a 2-3 zone on the other side of the court. A.J. Allen and Jarek Shoshone up front. And the 3 bigs down low. Richard, Brett, and Luis Rodriguez. Here's Howard, kicks it back out. Tight coverage up front for the Spartans. Westfield kicks it down to the right side corner. Under 10 seconds left to work with on the shot clock. Under 3 now. And the shot goes in for the Bombers. And the score is 13-11. Here's Rodriguez, kicks it out. Shoshone to Allen. Allen to Rodriguez. Rodriguez doesn't get the lucky bounce. And here comes Headley. And rejected by Brett Smith, but will stay with the Bombers.
Great defense on Brett Smith on that one too.
Excellent job to not commit the foul and hit all ball. And Isaiah Headley coming into tonight has 142 points on the year. He leads the Bomber squad. And the 3-baller goes in. Excuse me, that's it. Long two, long two. Allen has it, gives it to Shoshone. And it's going to be stolen away by Westfield. And now Brett Smith will commit an unnecessary foul. And Ricky Dixon and Riley Held will check in for the Spartans. They'll take out Richard. And who is Ricky Dixon taking out? Oh, he took out Luis Rodriguez. I didn't see him come off. Headley fakes the three. The Bombers don't get the three there, but they get an offensive rebound. Long distance three, no good. Held can't come up with it. O'Brien does. O'Brien gives it to Headley up top. Headley to O'Brien, down low for the Bombers, and Brett Smith with another rejection, but the putback is good for the Bombers. 17-11, Westfield leads. Neil, under 2 minutes left in the first, your first quarter thoughts?
I think it's been an even game beside the score, which East Long Meadow's up by 6, but still Luis Rodriguez is a big part of East Long Meadow's points. That's making the deficit much bigger than it looks like.
Here's the senior Ricky Dixon up top. And he gets rejected, swats it out, and it's going to go Westfield's way. Head coach of the Spartans is Pat Ochoa in his first season, and head coach of the Bombers is Bill Daly, his 13th season. Left side three for Westfield is good, and Neil, they can't miss from behind the arc tonight.
Yeah, East Long Meadow's really got to mark that spot right there.
Here's Ricky Dixon. Dixon, nice move up top, takes it himself, doesn't get the layup. Under a minute left here in the first. Dixon with tight coverage, back up top, all the way to the right side of the court. Down low now, and the layup will trickle in, and the score is 22-11 in favor of the Bombers. Dixon will go to the line, and Richard Ucalacarania and Luis Rodriguez will check in for the Spartans and try to re-amp this offense.
Again, Luis Rodriguez scored most of the points with, let's see what I got here, 6 points of this game out of the 11 points East Long Meadow's had, so East Long Meadow's really got to get back into this game just without Luis Rodriguez, just the whole team starting to score.
Well, that's really been the scenario this whole season. It's all been the Luis Rodriguez and company show. .35 seconds left in the first. Ricky Dixon's second free throw is good, and the score is 22-12. East Long Meadow staying with a 2-3 zone. Westfield swinging the ball around nicely, and the referee is going to call East Long Meadow for a foul. Coach Ochoa not too pleased with it. 16 seconds left on the game clock. No time left on the shot clock. And that's Richard Ucalacarania's second foul of the night. Neil, a lot of the games we've seen, he's been in foul trouble a lot this season.
Right. Richard has to guard big guys for any team he plays for, and you know, Richard's really trying to get the ball, but yet be smart of not getting the man.
5 seconds left on the game clock. A.J. Allen gives it to Lewis. Lewis at the buzzer, and an and one opportunity will be coming with 1 second left on the game clock. And it's the little things like that that can spark a team and a comeback. Especially at the end of the season. East Meadow is 7-12 and 2-7 in the division, while the Bombers are 4-4 in the division and 7-11 overall. But when we go into break after this quick inbounds pass, we'll talk about Westfield's playoff opportunities. Right. And at the end of one quarter of play, 22-15, Westfield leads it. Again, join alongside Neil Gagnon. I'm Tom Cronin. And Neil, let's go through the scenario for Westfield. Now, the typical way to get into the playoffs is win 10 games, and you're in. But for Westfield, they need to win tonight and also win at Northampton and hope Westside loses to Chicopee to reach the playoffs. If that happens, the Bombers would automatically receive a playoff berth for finishing, they would be tied for second in the Valley Wheel. So I'm not so sure how that works because they would be 9-11. So they haven't won 10 games, but since they're tied for second in the Valley Wheel, they make the playoffs.
Right. It's kind of confusing because usually when you get 10 wins, you automatically make it to the playoffs. But in Westfield's case, you know, they need West Springfield to lose against, which I think, they're playing Chicopee. And West Springfield's a really good team. And, you know.
Well, Westside is 6-3 in the division and 13-6 overall. Here's how the Valley Wheel stands tonight. Northampton's in first, Westside's in second, Westfield's in third, Amherst is in fourth, Chicopee's in fifth, and East Long Meadow is in sixth. No one is tied for any spot, so that's where I'm confused right now. It's not like anyone is tied for third or second because we're looking at the standings right now.
Right, it's a little it's really complicated, but.
Well, this year they changed everything up with the MIAA, with school size and districts and all that. You know, can I explain it to you? No, but we're just going. We all know that East Long Meadow's eliminated, and that's who we have to focus on day in and day out. So unfortunate for the Spartans, but hopefully they can knock the Bombers out. Here's Colin Dunn, having some trouble with it, regains it, puts it up, bad layup, but the putback is there. Rodriguez gives it to Dixon. Dixon around the pick. And Dixon doesn't get the lucky bounce. Here's O'Brien, back to Dunn. Over to Headley. Headley around the pick. Getting double teamed by the Spartans, and they're going to call A.J. Allen, I believe, for the foul. And that's AJ's first personal foul of the night. Headley will be the inbounder for the Bombers. Back up top, and a three-baller is good. Neil, I know this is your first night keeping the book, but can you tell us how many threes the Bombers have?
So far they have wow. They have a total of 6 threes.
Wow. So 18 points have come from behind the arc. And not to mention, East Long Meadow has had decent to great coverage on the corners where they're making their threes. They are contesting the shots. Do you have any ideas how East Long Meadow can do even better defensively?
Just stop. First of all, be like, don't really come in on defense. You just got to cover that perimeter for them to stop making those threes. But the reason they're making a lot of shots is they're moving the ball. And that's a big key part of Westfield right now.
Headley with the Chris Paul floater, no good. Gets his own rebound. Shoshone and Lindsay will check in. Headley being double teamed the whole night. Now to the left side for the Bombers with Dunn. Dunn down low, held with the coverage. Back up top to Headley. Isaiah Headley around the pick. Under 10 seconds left to work with, and they're going to call him for walking. And Neil, a decent showing by the East Long Meadow faithful tonight.
Right, packed house here, which is really important because East Long Meadow really needs to win for these fans.
Well, they trail here 27-15 on senior night here in the second quarter with 5:45 left in the first half. Here's Nate Lindsay. Gives it to Rodriguez. Lewis is not going to get called for the charge. The foul is going to be on a bomber. I believe it's going to be on Headley for a blocking foul. And that's Headley's second foul of the night, and Coach Bill Daly for the Bombers will make 2 substitutions. Shoshone will be the inbounder. And I was thinking the same thing. I thought it was going to be a 1-and-1 opportunity too. And now they do correct their mistake. I didn't want to jinx anything at first. You know, I didn't want to just come out and say it should be a 1-and-1 and then I'm wrong. But do you have 7 fouls, 17 fouls for the Bombers? Rodriguez sinks the front end of the 1-and-1 and makes a score 27-16.
Yeah, I don't see the team fouls. I don't think the team fouls are right on the scoreboard here, but.
Here is Colin Dunn. And some sloppy passing by the Bombers. They're able to save it though. Inside from the free throw line is good. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the second half, excuse me, first half, and the score is 29-17. Bombers lead it. Lindsay has it. Lindsay takes a 3. Hits the back of the rim. Here's Richard Barnett. Barnett takes it himself, no good with the layup. And Demetrius Rogers puts it back in. And East Long Meadow will call a timeout to talk it over with 4:41 left in the second quarter, and they trail 31-17. Neil, what is Coach Ochoa saying to his squad in this timeout break?
Well, again, stop the three-pointers from going in because half their points have been three-pointers, but also get the rebounds on the boards. Like there was an example of...
that was Demetrius Rogers with the putback.
Thank you. Demetrius Rogers with the easy putback, but I don't think he was boxed out on that one. So Ochoa had to call a timeout to see if his team is ready to, you know, get the boards and stop them from getting those three-pointers.
I tell you what, this has been a great year for East Long Meadow Athletics. The football team, the girls and boys soccer team, the girls basketball team clinched last night, and the hockey team clinched a few nights ago. They've all made the playoffs this year for East Long Meadow, and hopefully during the spring sports season with baseball, lacrosse, and softball, they can all clinch as well. But this 2014 class, which is your class, has been very athletic for the Spartans this year. It's great to see that most teams have made the playoffs. Again, the girls playoff. The girls basketball team clinched a playoff spot last night with a win at Agawam. And the senior night for the girls team is tomorrow night against Long Meadow. And out of the timeout break, Ricky Dixon will bring it up the floor for the Spartans. Lucky for someone to pass it to, finds Richard, back to Ricky. Dixon gives it inside, and it was a smart play, but they didn't execute it very well. Just over 4 minutes left here in the second half. And a miscommunication pass there and a turnover for the Bombers.
That's what Coach Ochoa wanted for East Long Meadow on that defensive possession.
And since it is the last game of the season, you're seeing a lot more of Jerick Shoshone in the game now. Do you like that move?
Yes, I would like that move. There's no playoff implications, anything. Just Shoshone needs to prove to himself that he can play with these guys all year long.
And yes, it is C. Sean, I believe. I believe he went to Matt and Domenico, the other color commentator. And I've been saying Shoshone the whole year as he gets the put back there. Since it's the last game of the season, I think we can just keep saying it because I think it's implemented in our brains.
Right.
And the 3 ball is good for the Bombers, and they extend their lead to 34-19. Here's Rodriguez. What a move. The floater, yes. And there's going to be a foul against East Long Meadow. Riley Held and A.J. Allen, 2 sophomores, will check in for the Spartans in a few seconds. Nate Lindsay is called for the foul, his first of the night. 3:09 left here in the first half. 34-21 East Long Meadow trails. And this is what I meant earlier when I said it's really been Luis Rodriguez's team in this 2014 season. As I said, coming into tonight, he had 442 points on the year. Then the next person, Ricky Dixon, 198. Then Allen at 97 and Yukalak Aranya with 89. I mean, you can just see the spread between first and second. Allen sets for a 3, no good. And Neil, your thoughts on Coach Ochoa's first year here as the head man at East Long Meadow?
I think it's a pretty good year. I mean, stepping down from JV coach for varsity, I think is improving East Long Meadow basketball and showing his smarts in this team in a pretty good season, even though they're out of the playoffs.
Colin Dunn is at the line, and Nate Lindsay was called for the foul, his second of the game. And Dunn sinks his first one. Dunn looking to make the score 37-21 if he makes his free throw. 2:52 left here in the first half. Ricky Dixon calling out a play, gives it to his fellow senior Luis Rodriguez around the pick from a sophomore A.J. Allen. Here is Dixon down low to Rodriguez, and they're going to call a foul against number 3, Colin Dunn, for the Bombers. And East Long Meadow is in the 1-and-1. That is the 9th team foul against the Bombers. And Rodriguez makes the front end of it. And he sinks them both. Last game for the Bombers, they beat Chicopee 77-69. Isaiah Headley had 25 points, Richard Barnett had 15 points, and Alex Brown had 10 points. Speaking of which, Richard Barnett gives it down low to his teammate. Number 25, Riley Brown, gets it to go. Here's Dixon. Gives it to Rodriguez off a bounce pass down low to Riley. Held, takes it himself, and doesn't get the lucky spin. And a foul is going to be called against Riley Held, and he's not happy with it at all. I thought he got hacked when he went up for the layup. Justin Garcia will check in, another young stud for the Spartans, and Richard is right behind him. Justin Garcia is a split squad player. He's participated in most of the JV games and then comes up for the varsity games, and Garcia will take out Shoshone and Richard will take out AJ. 2:01 left here in the first half. And Brown makes the front end of the 1-and-1. And the score is 40-23. And that goes to 41-23. Neil, the Bombers starting to run away with it.
So Meadows really got to, try to get it to 10 before this half's over.
Rodriguez calling for a screen. He gets it, takes a three, looks good, no good. Looked good, but doesn't get the lucky bounce. Here's Dunn, doesn't get the layup. And Richard secures the offensive rebound. About 90 seconds left to play here in the first half. Here's Garcia. Garcia will take a long two and drains it. Here's Colin Dunn, swings it to Isaiah Headley. Under a minute left. The three ball in and out for the Bombers. Rodriguez comes up with it. Lewis will go to the line.
Lewis really strong when he goes to the rim.
Some other notable games going on tonight. You got Northampton at Amherst, Athol at Mahar, Cathedral is traveling to Commerce. The Lancers will play the Falcons at Minnetonka, Central at Holyoke. South Hadley is going to Comp. Putnam will versus Cybercats at SciTech, and Chicopee will travel to Westside. And Rodriguez doesn't get the second one, hits the front of the rim. Here's Chris White. And they're going to call Ricky for a foul, and personally, I can't say I agree with that call.
Said they hit him on the arm, but...
Well, I mean, basketball is a physical game.
Right.
That's one thing I've never understood with basketball is it can be so physical, but you have to be so careful when you're doing it.
Right.
And he misses the second one. Richard with the rebound and gives it to Rodriguez. Dixon has it. Hands it off to Lewis, back to Dixon. Dixon fakes the three. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Around the pick from Riley, and Dixon saves it, puts it up. Hits the rim, and Garcia fighting hard, and they're going to call a foul against the Spartans with 6 seconds left on the game clock. No time left on the shot clock. I'm not sure where the foul was. Clearly it looked like Garcia and Richard were just, flat out fighting for the ball with not doing anything illegal there.
Right.
Sometimes I wish we had a rough analysis here at East Long Meadow Community Access Television. We do have Tony Santinello, who's a referee and our boss here at LCAT Sports, but unfortunately he's not in the middle of us.
Mike Pereira is there for Fox football, so.
Well, that's where I got the idea from. Very good. You read my mind. That is where I got the idea from. And how good does that make the broadcast when a controversial play occurs?
It makes so much better.
Oh, we need replay here.
Right.
Rodriguez at the buzzer, no good. 2 quarters are in the books with East Long Meadow trailing 43-26. And Neil, not much to wrap up about because East Long Meadow has not played to their best of their abilities.
Right, especially in the last game. You want to show all these fans. I think most of the fans have come here most of this game, this whole season. But East Long Meadow with a slow start, but hope the second half would be better for them.
All right, Neil, you're a Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee fan, excuse me. We all know Derek Jeter announced his retirement today, and we all know that he hit 3,000 hits on July 9th, 2011 off David Price and the Tampa Bay Rays. And I'm going to ask you a trivia question since that's what we do here at LCAT. What other Yankee has hit 3,000 hits other than Derek Jeter? We're going to give you 4 options here. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, or Lou Gehrig. 4 of the greatest Yankees of all time, the Mount Rushmore of the Yankees history, you could say. Think about it. And
Today's game is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, located on Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience. You can visit Let's Yo on North Main Street in the Stop and Shop Plaza in East Longmeadow. And sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Longmeadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCAT Sports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
all right, everybody, welcome back to LCAT's coverage of men's varsity basketball here on LCAT's Channel 5. Joined alongside Neil Gagnon, I'm Tom Cronin. And Neil, coming into the second half, what does East Longmeadow have to do as they're trailing 43-26 to get back in this ballgame?
Well, again, they have to move the ball. They got to get some turnovers on Westfield pretty much and get easy layups. But especially East Longmeadow's got to start to make shots from three-point range because they so far have no three-pointers in this whole entire game so far.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for East Longmeadow so far. And coming out of the break, Nate Lindsay will inbound it to Ricky Dixon, and also on the floor is Riley Held, Richard Ucalacarania, and Luis Rodriguez. Here comes the senior, Mr. Dixon, gives it to the other senior, Mr. Rodriguez. Rodriguez goes to his left, and he'll go to the line. Neil, how many points, and I know this is your first game keeping the book, does Rodriguez have? And I see he has a lot, so take your time while tallying it. Knocks down his first one, so add one more to it. Makes the score 43-27 with 7:44 left here in the third. And the score is now 43-28. Howard inbounds to Headley.
Rodriguez has 18 points so far this
With
game.
both free throws.
With both free throws.
Okay. Here's Dunn around the pick. He's getting double teamed now to Howard in the corner. Howard goes down low to Headley. Headley back up top for 3, no good. And they're gonna call a foul on the floor against Ricky.
It's on Luis Rodriguez.
No, it's on Lewis. Yep, you're right. But for what? Nina Fazio, you see that call? She's shaking. That's our camera girl, Nina, tonight. Future USA goalie coming out of East Longmeadow for lacrosse. I think she's already committed to Johns Hopkins. 4-year scholarship. And the nifty layup, the Globetrotter style layup for the Bombers goes in. Under 7 minutes here left in the third. And Rodriguez doesn't get the power layup, rebounded by Howard. Lindsay comes up with it, and he'll run the floor for the Spartans. Nice move. Nate doesn't get the lucky bounce around the rim. Here is Richard with the offensive rebound. Richard gives it to Dixon. Dixon setting up the offense for the Spartans. And he'll have it knocked out of bounds, but it'll stay with East Longmeadow. Excuse me, East Longmeadow. Kind of faded out my words there. Here's Rodriguez, dishes it to Dixon. Dixon long 2, knocks it down. Here's Dunn from behind the arc, no good. And they're going to call an over and back foul, excuse me, a foul against the Bombers. I said over and back, it's over the back. Right, that's the correct terminology for that call, right? You're a basketball player.
Right.
Lindsay has it. Nice move. And Richard gets the pass, and it'll go to the line. The foul was on Jason Howard. And Richard knocks down his first one. Looking to make the score 45-32. And he's in and out on the second one. Isaiah Headley pushing the floor for the Bombers, and the three-point opportunity is successful for the Bombers. That one coming from John O'Brien. Dixon giving it to Nate Lindsay. Lindsay from the free throw line, no good. The tip, no good. And it's going to go Westfield's way. Isaiah Headley is covered by Luis Rodriguez. Headley gives it to his teammate up top. Number 21, Richard Barnett, gives it down low. Here's Howard back up top. And the shot is short. Nate Lindsay going full speed, and his pass is going to be intercepted and not saved out of bounds, as it'll stay with East Long Meadow. 4:48 left in the third. East Long Meadow trails 48-31. Neil, any more comments on this performance so far for the Spartans?
So far, it's been a little disappointing for East Long Meadow for the final game.
Yeah, definitely not the way they wanted to end their season. They still have plenty of time to try to make a magnificent comeback, but Headley misses the layup, gets his own rebound, but steps out of bounds, and East Long Meadow will have possession. And going into halftime, our trivia question was, other than Derek Jeter, what other Yankee has 3,000 hits? Answer A is Babe Ruth. Answer B is Mickey Mantle. Answer C is Joe DiMaggio. Answer D is Lou Gehrig. Nick Balboni guessed. Who'd you guess? You guessed DiMaggio. You said A. You said Babe Ruth. What? You said A. Okay, so. He said DiMaggio. Okay, he said Mr. Joey DiMaggio. And Nina said Babe Ruth. And Neil, what is your guess?
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig? All three of you are wrong. No other Yankee in history has hit 3,000 hits. It's only Derek Jeter, one of the most magnificent records he holds. He also holds the most at-bats in history, the most stolen bases in New York Yankees history, the most hits, obviously, in New York Yankees history, and numerous postseason records as well. And if he hits, I believe, 116 more balls, he will have the most all time at the shortstop position, beating out Honus Wagner. Right now, he's 9th on the hit list in the history of Major League Baseball. Headley drives through the defense, but it's stolen away by East Long Meadow. Rodriguez takes it himself and gets the lucky roll, and East Long Meadow trails now by 10. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout as both teams will go into the timeout huddle with 3:31 left in the third. East Long Meadow trails by 10. We hope to join you after this quick break.
Sports fans, stay in touch with all of East Long Meadow High School sports by following us on Twitter using our handle @LCATSports. And if you miss any of the games on TV, you can watch the game at your leisure by visiting us on YouTube and searching LCAT 01028.
All right, both teams breaking out of the timeout huddle. Again, East Long Meadow trails with 3:31 left here in the third, 48-38 on senior night here. Nate Lindsay guarding the inbounds pass from O'Brien. O'Brien successfully inbounds it to Headley. Here's O'Brien. Gives it up top for the Bombers. Back up top, long three. No good, rebounded by Lewis. Rodriguez dishes it to Held, and Held makes the easy two. And East Long Meadow's right back into this ball game, only trailing by 8 here in the third. Here's Headley, covered by Rodriguez. And they're gonna call an illegal screen against the Bombers. And Neil, now the momentum starting to shift for East Long Meadow.
Yeah, only down by 8. At the point they were down by like around 17, so really important for East Long Meadow to come back here.
Richard inbounds to Rodriguez. Here's Ricky Dixon. Around the pick from Nate. Dixon thought about the shot, gives it to Held, back to Nate. Lindsay has it rejected cleanly, and it's going to go the Bombers' way. And a substitution for the Bombers. Colin Dunn comes in for Chris White. East Long Meadow showing a full court press with 2.5 left in the third. Here's Barnett. Headley has it. Under 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And the lucky spin doesn't go through for the Bombers. Held comes up with an aggressive rebound. Under 2 minutes left in the third. Nice pass from Nate Lindsay to Ricky Dixon. Knocks it down. 5-point deficit for the Spartans. And they've come all the way back. And wow. Neil starting to shock all of us here in the crowd.
Right. Again, East Long Meadow, yeah, only down by 5. And what a comeback. After halftime, Coach Uchon must have really pumped them up for this third quarter. And been really important for only down by 5 points, a ton of time, so they don't have to make their comeback now. But I guess they would want to get it into a close deficit before this third quarter ends.
Right. It would be very significant if they can make more momentum heading into the fourth quarter and ultimately take the lead heading into the final 8 minutes of play. Again, Elcats coverage does not end in the regular season. We will be covering the girls' postseason run. Hopefully it's a long one. Again, their senior night is tomorrow night. Nina Fazio, are you going to be a part of the postseason crew? No, you're training for lacrosse, right? Right. And coming out of the timeout break is Nate Lindsay, Riley Held, Richard Ucalacarania, Ricky Dixon, and Luis Rodriguez. Now, Neil, if $1 million was on the line,
right,
and you had to spell Richard's last name, and you had a week to study it, do you think you could do it?
No.
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 Wow, really? 7 days to study, Ucalacarania, $1 million on the line. You couldn't do it?
I always get it right, but until the time comes, I'll choke.
I tell you what, it must suck when he has to fill out those MCAS bubbles,
yeah,
and you have to fill in your name individually by letter. That must take a long time. Probably takes 15 minutes. The 3 ball, no good. And the putback is good by Riley Held, and he cuts the lead to 2 for the Bombers. Excuse me, to 3. That's a charge. Come on, ref. Are you serious? Blow your whistle. All right, Ricky Dixon coming up the floor. Are you in agreement with me, or?
Yeah, I agree with you. He was definitely there.
Around the pick. Short 2, got it. Back to a 3-point lead for the Bombers. Under a minute left here in the third. And a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on the floor. It's against Ricky Dixon.
That was a good foul because you know he was going to get an easy layup on that one.
And it's only Ricky's second personal of the night. John O'Brien will inbound. And the jumper, no good. Rebounded by Rogers. Rogers, his shot is unsuccessful, and here comes Ricky Dixon. Lindsay, back to Dixon. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez. Yes! 50-49. With half a minute left in the third. Barnett gives it to Rogers. Over to Dunn. Back to O'Brien. O'Brien gives it to Barnett, and Barnett finishes. Lewis has got to push it here. 3 seconds left on the game clock. At the buzzer, yes! Luis Rodriguez ties the game up at 52 all, heading into the fourth quarter of play.
Wow. Luis Rodriguez, nickname should be Clutch.
Clutch, yes.
Tied 52 going into the fourth quarter. It's the best way to be in if you're East Long Meadow.
And you talked about it earlier, Neil. It was crucial for East Long Meadow to start getting a lot of momentum and possibly take the lead here in the fourth quarter. They have tied it at 52, but excellent steps East Long Meadow has taken late in the third quarter to tie this game.
Again, that buzzer beater by Luis Rodriguez really boosts the whole East Long Meadow team, and it's going to give them momentum going into that fourth quarter. So far this game, Luis Rodriguez has...
He's got a lot, so take your time counting it.
I'm going to take my time. .25
points. He had 36 his last game. So he can definitely match that or score more.
Right.
Here in this ball game. And Coach Ochoa will send out Ricky Dixon, Luis Rodriguez, Richard Ducalacarana, Nate Lindsay, and Riley Held to start off the fourth quarter of play. And Rogers will inbound, gives it to Barnett. Back out to Rogers. Demetrius Rogers is no good from behind the arc, and East Long Meadow has a chance to take the lead. Here's Rodriguez. Lewis loses the ball. Riley Held will go to the line.
This job going up strong by Riley Held as he will line put East Long Meadow in the lead for, I think, for the first time today.
Yes, I believe so. Misses his first one. Misses them both. And they're going to call it jump ball, and it's going to stay with East Long Meadow. I tell you what, when that ball was bouncing around the rim and I called it earlier, wasn't it? I go, please, God, do not let that ball sink in and give me that broadcaster's curse. Here's Nate Lindsay, no. Held, gets rejected. And they're going to call held for the foul. I can understand why held doesn't agree with it, but from a perspective, while we're not emotional and in this game, that was definitely a foul on Riley Held.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Riley Held's second foul of the night. Brett Smith will check in for Riley Held. East Long Meadow having a press against this Westfield's offense. As they're about ready to inbound, they're cleaning up the floor. Good coverage by East Long Meadow. Westfield's able to break it though. Here is Barnett. Now Dunn against Lindsay. Hands it to Barnett. Gives it to O'Brien. Dunn doesn't get the lucky bounce and rebounded by Brett Smith. Has his pass tipped and stolen away. Barnett will settle it for the Bombers.
Brett forced that one, which is really rare for him.
Isaiah Headley will check in for the Bombers in a few seconds. And the step back jumper is no good, rebounded by the Bombers, and they sink it in. And the Bombers regain the lead at 54-52. Ricky kicks it out. Nate fakes the three, takes it himself, and it'll go to the line. Nate makes his first one and cuts the lead to 1 for the Bombers. 6:24 remaining here in the fourth. And he ties this ball game up at 54. O'Brien gives it to Headley, fakes the three, and they're going to call a foul against Lewis.
Thought that was a soft call by the ref right there.
Here's Barnett. Cover by Brett Smith. Barnett for three. Got it. Wow. My goodness. I couldn't do that if you gave me 100 opportunities. Lewis trying to answer. He does. Back and forth we go. Here's Headley. And he won't get it to go, but he'll go to the line. And Coach Ochoa will have a conference with his players. Nate Lindsay, Luis Rodriguez, and Ricky Dixon all paying attention to what he has to say in the final 5 minutes and 40 seconds in the fourth quarter. And Headley sinks his first one and gives the Bombers a 1-point lead. Neil, your thoughts so far as we're about midway in the fourth quarter?
So much better in this third quarter and so far into the fourth quarter for East Long Meadow than the first two. But only down by 2 points, but East Long Meadow really got to start their run right now after these free throw.
Headley knocks them down and gives the Bombers a 2-point lead. Smith goes between Richard's legs, and they're going to call a jump ball, and this one is going to go Westfield's way. Held will check in for the Spartans. He's going to take out, let's see, he's going to take out Brett Smith. Headley inbounds it, gets the pass right back. Here's Barnett. Some confusion on the offensive side for the Bombers. Nate Lindsay trying to come up with a steal. Richard does. Dunk it, Richard, dunk it. Nah, he won't dunk it, but he gets the layup.
Thought he was going to go LeBron on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked a little LeBron and maybe an and one too, but Westfield answers, and they have a 61-59 lead. And they're going to call Lewis for walking. His shot was in and out. Was it for traveling, or did he step out of bounds?
Traveling.
Traveling? Okay. And that's off Westfield. That should be off Westfield. But it's going to stay with the Bombers. That was right off his thigh. That was right off Isaiah Headley's thigh, I believe.
Somehow was also complaining of a double dribble, stopped dribbling, and then he started again.
Into the corner. Headley has it, covered by Rodriguez. Step back three, no good. Tipped back out, Held gets in. Nate Lindsay gets decked in the face there as his team shoves off Headley. I don't think there was any intent there at all. I think that was just happened. I don't think anything was intended to have a Muhammad Ali punch hit Nate Lindsay.
Right. I don't think there was any intent, just loose ball, but Nate Lindsay got to it first, and then that's why he hit him.
And just, 2-point lead for the Bombers. Very close game, very
Right.
intense game as well.
Emotional game as also.
And Lindsay way short on the free throw. And it's going to go Westfield's way. And Neil, this is your first year broadcasting here at LCAT, and you're a senior. Can you kind of describe what strides you've made this year in broadcasting and what you're going to do in the future for broadcasting in college?
Well, again, first thing when I came here for freshman year, I didn't know this place existed until sophomore and junior year. I started to know the place, and Don Mackey, the head of the studio, treated me well there, and again, Tony helped me to become a better announcer, and I really appreciate the help he's given me so far.
And John O'Brien knocks down the three ball and gives the Bombers a 64-59 lead. Rodriguez, no good, in and out. Richard gets the offensive rebound. Here's Dixon, gives it to Nate. Nate for three, in and out. Richard there once again. Doesn't get the lucky roll. Nate gets it, gives it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez fakes a three. Dishes it to Dixon. Dixon has it stolen away, but it's going to be out of bounds. Wow. A foul? A foul.
It's not even a foul. That's unbelievable.
Timeout, East Long Meadow, but look at, I don't get it. Last game of the season, East Long Meadow really has nothing to play for other than knock out Westfield.
Right.
64-59, 3:36 left in the fourth. Why are you calling a foul?
I don't know. Ricky Dixon really got heated after that, too.
No, I got heated too.
Yeah.
You got heated. We all got
Yep.
heated. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make one bit of sense.
I think the ref called Ricky for holding his arm, but he just ripped the ball out of him. I don't think he was holding him at all, but that's what the ref saw in their eyes.
And maybe that call is called in maybe the second quarter, the first quarter, not in the fourth quarter. Let the advantage go. It's going to be Westfield's ball anyways. it was off. It was off Ricky Dixon, so it definitely was off Ricky, but there was definitely no foul there. So why not just let them have advantage?
Right.
You know, you're slowing the game down now.
Right.
We would have probably already been up the floor twice if this hadn't occurred. And granted, they did call a timeout, but
You think the referees have been a little questionable so far this game?
I'm not sure. I think in some situations, for the most part, they've done an excellent job. I've never been a referee, so I hate commenting on referees.
Right.
But this isn't a referee 101. This is just instinct.
Right.
You know, this is just basketball 101. We're just let the game play. You know, no one's getting hurt. No one's getting, too intense. Just let it go. And the layup goes in for Isaiah Headley. And the Bombers extend their lead 66-59 with 3 straight minutes left on the game clock. Richard has it. Almost has it stolen away, falls on it, gives it to Nate. That's an over and back. You really can't blame anybody there. I know Nate Lindsay's saying, why the heck are you passing it to me? I'm over the line. But Richard's just trying to get an outlet pass because no one's calling a timeout to secure the possession for East Long Meadow. Miscommunication, not a heads-up play on any player for East Long Meadow, that sequence there.
Right. I think Nate was also saying that he should have received that pass earlier, but then Nate started back up behind the court line because Richard didn't see him, but Richard just threw it from the ground. Nate Lindsay was already back there, so he wanted that pass a little early, I thought, but again, Richard didn't know. He was grabbing the ball down there. He didn't know where Nate Lindsay was standing, so I wouldn't blame Richard on that one.
And Nate Lindsay has a very high basketball IQ, and I'm very surprised he didn't call the timeout there.
Right.
I would have sworn he would have called a timeout in any other situation like that in any other game. Obviously, this game's very intense. Didn't have much time to think, but I thought for sure he was going to call a timeout there, just so East Long Meadow could keep possession.
Right.
Because it didn't look too good for Richard when he's got 4 bodies around him,
right,
and he can't get the outlet pass, and the only one he has is to Nate, who's over the half-court line. Neil, 2:54 left for East Long Meadow. What do they need to do to get back this lead and possibly a W?
Get turnovers from Westfield and get great shots, get into the line, just go into the hoop. I wouldn't necessarily just shoot threes all day to get back in this game. Just take it possession by possession.
All right, John O'Brien will inbound for the Bombers. Nate Lindsay's covering the inbounds pass, and Headley receives the inbounds pass. Here's O'Brien, gives it to Barnett. Barnett kicks it to the corner. Down low to Headley. Headley dishes it out. Barnett takes it himself. The right-hander is good. 68-59. East Long Meadow doesn't seem to have an answer. Rodriguez has it stripped away. Here's Headley. Headley does not get fouled, and he'll sink it in regardless. Under 2 minutes. Ricky Dixon letting the ball roll to conserve time. Nice down low pass, and Lewis misses the layup. Barnett will get fouled. Richard committed the foul.
Starting to get away from him for East Long Meadow, just under 2 minutes left.
And that's Richard's 3rd personal foul of the night. And Barnett misses his first one. Second one is good. And the score is 71-59 with a minute 45 left here in the ball game. Dixon making some nifty dribbling moves. Bounce pass to Nate. Nate fakes the three, takes it himself, the floater, no good off the glass. And the foul is against East Long Meadow.
I don't think Riley ever fouled him, honestly.
Yeah, see, those are the fouls I don't understand. I mean, I'm not the biggest basketball fan in the world. You could say this isn't my #1 sport to call, but I just don't understand those fouls. Alex Brown knocks down his first one. Westfield playing a prevent defense, as you would call it in football. Lewis, long two, no good. Hits the front of the rim, rebounded by Headley. And he'll take some clock, or some time off the clock. A.J. Allen and Jarek Shoshone will check in. To the corner, no good, rebounded by Riley. Pushes it to Nate, here's Lewis. Yo, Lewis Rodriguez, oh my goodness. I tell you what, they might lose this game, but he's got the SportsCenter top 10 play of the night. And he's gonna foul Richard Barnett. Oh my goodness. Let's take another look at that one. Luis Rodriguez getting all his frustration out. And they're going to take Lewis out, and they're going to take Ricky out. Their final game here at East Long Meadow, their final game of their high school career. Both of them were able to see a playoff opportunity last year in a loss against SciTech. They won't see a playoff opportunity tonight, or excuse me, this season, and they probably won't see a win on their final game either. Both great athletes, great teammates, great people. Barnett comes up with it, and Headley has it with 40 seconds left on the game clock. Lindsay gives it to Allen. Allen down low to Riley. Now Richard has some trouble with it. AJ gets it back, and he almost dribbles out of bounds. It's going to be off Barnett and stay with East Long Meadow. 17 seconds left in this 2013-2014 regular season for the Spartans.
Let's go, please. Please, give me lead.
Shoshone inbounds to Lindsay. Lindsay pulls up from behind the arc. No good. 10 seconds left. O'Brien has it tipped away, regained by his teammate. 3, 2, 1, and East Long Meadow loses their final game of the 2014 season, 73-61, and East Long Meadow goes to 7-13 on the year and 2-8 in the division. As for the Bombers, they have a lot of watching to do, and they still have to win their next game against Northampton, and hopefully for them, the Terriers lose against the Pacers. They move to 5-4 in the division and 8-11 overall. Neil, your final thoughts not only on this game, but the whole 2014 season for the Spartans overall?
I think it's been a a pretty good season for East Long Meadow, but just short of the playoffs again. But this game has been disappointing, but went out with a big Luis Rodriguez dunk to end his career at East Long Meadow. But it's been a good run for East Long Meadow this season.
All right, I would like to thank Nina Fazio, Matt Domenico, Tony Santinello, Neil Gagnon, Jamie Rook, Mr. Mackey, the executive producer of LCAT, Nick Balboni, and Anthony Santinello, and all of our LCAT crew that helped produce every single home game this season for boys varsity basketball. Tomorrow night is the girls' senior night against Long Meadow. Come check that one out. The girls are in the playoff. We're not sure who they'll be playing. The selection show has yet to be discussed. But again, if I missed anybody who's helped out the broadcast this season, I thank you. For Tom Cronin, we'll see you next year, everybody.